Hi, this is Ann Holmes with No Sewing Into You Quilted. That is my technique, but I do some traditional sewing sometimes. I was making my grandson a crib quilt, but look at all the seam allowances that I had to figure out which way to press and stuff. And even though they've been pressed, they're still kind of all over the place, up and down. So this is the back of a No Sewing Into You Quilted project. So you can see the comparison between a No Sewing Into You Quilted project and a traditionally sewn project. Everything is nice and flat, and the seams are all interlocked as you're building. You don't have to go to the ironing board later on and figure out which way to press your seams. Everything is nice and flat, all with turned edges. This is going to be Springtime in the Mountains. I worked on this. You just saw me work with the paper design to redesign Happy in the Mountains to Springtime in the Mountains. But then I took this with me in my suitcase to visit my daughter while she was having surgeries to help take care of her. And so I built this on a dining room table. And so this is Springtime in the Mountains. Look at how colorful it is. The old quilt, Happy in the Mountains, you know, the diagonal ended here. And this was the finished width of the long sides. But then this was all added. And I brought this point down here. So this will come to here. And then I'll put the binding on it. But you'll see that later on. But this will be fun to work on during the winter months. It has started to turn cold. So this is the second side. I built this first long side on our paper pattern. This is the same paper pattern, and this was folded up in my suitcase. And here I am building, still working on the second long side. So you'll see us demonstrating on this today of finishing this. But you see, with the freezer paper attached to the working drawing with blue tape, one continuous piece of freezer paper is over the whole design. This was one long piece. And then these are the other pattern pieces. I used these same pattern pieces to build the second piece. And you'll see us try to work on this a little bit today. Thank you. We've spread the second side out on the table, unfolded it, and put a few pieces of blue painter's tape down just to anchor it to the table so it doesn't slide around. And our French fuse is attached to the working drawing. I'll just put another piece over here. And now we just place these pieces close to where they're supposed to be. So we'll put them up there, and then we'll be ready to work here. So
alrighty, so we're gonna take off the paper for the middle of this long section. We're gonna save the pattern pieces so we can use them to build the short sides. I'm gonna take everything off. We'll speed it up so you can see it, with the exception of here where C meets D that we're still building. I'm going to leave the pieces in place that touch another piece to put down so we know where the edge is. So we'll leave 17, 19, and 29 here. We'll take off all the others. So let's go. Just collect all of these pieces to use again, and we'll put them in a book. We're going to use Ann's No Sewing Into You Quilt It book, and just set them in there so that they stay flat and all together. We'll also, after taking all the pattern pieces off, use a big iron and just go through and press down all of the pieces, make sure that everything is secure.
Hi, this is going really fast Rachel and I got excited and remembered that we had to film. We had to tell you a little more. We redesigned the dove from Happy in the Mountains. We've changed the top. There were 4 pieces here that ran through like a regular drunkard's path. And instead, we're not going to do that. We're going to cut one round piece for the back of the bird. At first, I thought I could make him a bluebird and have a red breast there, but that looked stupid. The breast was like on top of his back. So you can always change your pattern. So anyway, we just cut a circle. We're going to have a nice fat, he's still a bluebird, but you don't see the red breast. And so now, as we're building this, we wanted to put the background for the bird down first, the sky that the bird is flying on. So we put that down first, and then we started to put the wings and the head down. And this is the beak that we stuck in there. So here, when we're doing this, you just turn what is touching. So we put a little clip in there and just turn back what is touching. But now also I have to turn this inside curve. And what do we have to do for inside curves? We just clip it to the paper. And then our 2-step gluing process. First, to turn it back, just make little pinch marks. Finger press. And then the second gluing. And now we can glue both of these sides because it's only touching right here and right there in that curve. So that will go just like that, lining up those registration marks. And then we'll seal it down.
So I've already turned these 2 sides where it would be touching here and here. I don't need to turn the inside because that's what the bluebird circle that we just showed you is. So Anne had just showed you an inside curve where we clip the edges. I'm turning an outside curve, so I don't need to clip the edges. So I'm just going to take it. My glue stick is starting to get a little tacky because I've been using it for a while. So I've kind of got 2 options. We've got a baby wipe in here, so I can just kind of clean it up. So that it's not goopy in the pattern itself, or I can trade it out and get a new glue stick and let this one firm up a little bit. We're almost done here. If we had a lot more pieces to go, I would probably trade out glue sticks. So just turn it, and then I've got a little bit of a dog ear here, so I'm going to clip that. Bring it back, just check, make sure that nothing's sticking out. I've turned everything I need to turn. I'll do the second gluing, put it in place, and seal it down. So this is the last section of the long side, the second long side of the Springtime in the Mountains. And we finished it, and now we're gonna take all the paper off and see what the fabric looks like. So So we don't need to save these the D section because we're not going to use it again, which is great. So all of this can be thrown away, which is super exciting. Thank you guys for following us this year. We look forward to seeing y'all in the new year.
Rachel and I are excited to finish the second long side of this quilt. So before I remove it from my table, I'm going to go over it with a big iron just to make sure, pressing, that everything is securely attached to the French fuse foundation. After removing the blue tape from our paper, then we can just pull our pattern off. See, that's the back. Everything is so nice and flat. And I'm excited that I'm going to have a clear table for holiday entertaining. All I do is put a tablecloth over this and ready to go. Thank you for watching. Bye.